Today's Part to Prem episode is brought to you by Lemsip. Yeah, I've got a sore throat. Water is still wet, everyone. I've got ill again. But you know what? A little tickly sore throat isn't going to hold me back from playing some more Wanderers for you today. We've got two Champions League games. Real Sociedad, PSG. Yeah, not necessarily the easiest game, that latter one. In this universe, Pep Guardiola is PSG manager. Their key player is a regen called Filuri here. He's probably the best centre mid in the world. He's good, isn't he? No Kylian Mbappe to worry about. They have got some bloke called Xavi Simons and also Benjamin Sesko. So yeah, they've got good players. It's the 16th of September. We're doing our first European Games live. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back. It's episode number 66 of Park to Prem today here with Wanderers. The transfer window is slammed shut. We finally started scoring goals whilst also defending a little bit better than we saw last episode. And all in all, things are going okay. In terms of transfer market news, there is no transfer market news. The only bit of news, actually, Amari Hutchinson, I let go on a free transfer to Bournemouth. No one wanted to buy him. He's never going to play for my team, so I just decided to give him away because I'm a charitable human being. Bournemouth, you're welcome. Now, of course, last episode we had two draws where I think in both cases we could argue that we should have won the games, at least statistically. Since then, statistics have kind of rubbed off in our favour, and I suppose no game exemplifies that more than this game here against Everton. 6-0 we managed to win. Andy White with 2. Bernard Brennan getting 2 goals late on as well, on off the bench. Good to see a nice variety of goal scorers. Sadly, we couldn't string that win against Everton into a run of wins as we took on Arsenal. Away from home, knew this was going to be a tough game. Jeremy Doku with a goal of the season contender there. I actually just stood up and clapped when that went in. Sheldon missed a penalty for us in the first half to draw us level, and off the back of that, we found ourselves 2 goals down going into the last 20 minutes. Declan Rice with a thunderous effort from the edge of the box, and despite us getting a fairly immediate response, actually, and leaving ourselves 15 minutes to try and get that last extra goal we needed to get something from this game, we couldn't find it. McGarry, the new addition, passing it to Hernandez. I've become quite fond of Tom McGarry here. I think it's the fact he can just place a few different positions for us. Of course, we play with 2 defensive mids and 5 centre-backs, so he basically can come on for one of 5 players when I want to sub him on. It was great to see him make an impact in that game. He did get another assist on off the bench as well in this recent run of games. And as for Christopher Hernandez, he was playing in this game because Andy White was unavailable. Came on, made a debut, scored a goal. Can't really complain that much. Anyway, I'm pleased to report the month of September has been a little more fruitful. We did scrape a win against League 2 Rochdale. Little less than ideal. We did rotate the team for that one. The next result, definitely ideal. 4-0 against Manchester United. Gavin Wallace with 2 goals in this game. The left-back, who we dropped for the latter game of last episode, came back into the team and put in a really good performance. I might have given myself a little headache when it comes to Benito versus Gavin, because on paper, Gavin is probably second fiddle. But actually, when you look at the statistics of these two players, it's crazy how similar their stats are. They've both started 4 games each. Benito's made 1 more appearance on off the bench. Gavin has 1 more assist. They both have 2 goals. Their average ratings are actually identical at a 7.92. The sooner that Benito learns to play right wing back, the sooner maybe Ajaria's position's in danger in the squad. Anyway, in our opening Champions League game wasn't a fancy one. We took on Apoel and won 3-0. I actually played a rotated team in that game. Rashid Mohammed with 2 goals there, and he'd follow up that goal in Europe with another goal early on in this game against Hull City. Newly promoted Hull, we were 5-0 up going into the last 5 minutes. They scored 3 goals. Fortunately, it never really felt like the result was in jeopardy. Was a little bit of a shame to give up a 5-0 result and it end up 5-3, but testament to Hull, they know how to score. Now, of course, we were unable to beat Arsenal. Had we won that game, we'd actually sit top of the table right now, but that is just sometimes the way things go. Elsewhere, Manchester and Tottenham, the 2 teams above us, not entirely surprising. They're 2 solid teams as we've seen over the last few years. We do actually currently have the best goal difference in the league. It is early days, but you can see here, Benito Lloyd-Weston leading the way with the average ratings in the league. As for Andy White, he's had a great start to the season. 3 goals in 3 games. Sadly, had a groin strain. 3 weeks ago, he picked that up. As a result of that, not going to be ready to play the first game today. Now, as already mentioned, today we are going to do the games against Sociedad and PSG. Apologies to Newcastle and Wolves fans. We're going to be glossing over those games. Granted, the 2 games we're playing today are a month apart, so I need to get into some Football Manager. In terms of Sociedad's team, Luka Sucic here is their best player, but he is injured. And, well, based on how they started their European campaign with a 3-1 defeat against Juventus, I want to think we can beat them here. Now, of course, in Europe, I'm actually allowed a few more players on the bench, so we'll add players to the bottom of this list. In terms of the starting 11, pretty much full strength with the exception of Andy White, who's out injured. As a result of that, Meredith is going to play through the middle. Rashid Mohammed is going to come in and play as the pressing forward. 5 goals in 7 games so far for this guy. He's looked really good to start the season. Oh, actually, one other little bit of news, totally forgot about this. Corby Hatswell, been out for the last few weeks, which is a little bit annoying. It has been maybe a blessing in disguise, because McHugh has wanted more regular first-team football. I've actually been able to give it him over the last few weeks. So he's played fairly frequently. In fact, you can see here he's appeared in our last 6 games. He is going to be starting in the Segundo Volante position today. Okay, of course, with the new Champions League format, it's good to get wins against the teams you expect to get wins against. You definitely don't have to be flawless, do you, in this new kind of setup where so many teams qualify for the second round, but we still need to get wins. We got one against Apoel. This is another game that when I looked at our run of games, I thought, that should be winnable. Our next couple of games, PSG we're doing today, then Juventus afterwards, so need a win here. I've just noticed at centre attack in mid, they've got Zach Haryan. Is that the Armenian/Russian centre attack in mid? I say slash because I feel like in previous Football Managers, he could declare for either. I think I had him in my Atalanta save game once upon a time. If you watch that save game, you know the man, probably. Ajari is bringing it forward here into the middle. Rashid Mohammed. Skews his shot wide. In fact, it was blocked, but good early chance. Gavin Wallace is over the corner for us. Corners have definitely been something we've been able to make use of this year. Both Dorrington and Phillips are pretty good when it comes to their jumping reach. Real aerial menaces. On this occasion, Sociedad have dealt with it, but we're ramping up some early pressure. Sheldon now to take this in-swinger on this side. Whipping it to the back post again. Dorrington can't keep the header down. Yeah, if you're wondering about Zach Haryan, I think in real life he has now declared for Russia. He's not as good as he used to be in Football Manager, I think it's safe to say. It's always fun when former Park to Prem players just pop up in weird corners of the next Football Manager save. That's happened there. I should probably hit play so the game continues to go on as Santos has a goal kick. So immediately into another chance potentially here. Sheldon to flood. Dorrington with the ball for us. At centre-back is going to step out with it and find Ajaria in a little pocket of space. Has Rashid Mohammed inside. Is going to get to the byline and maybe get the ball in here. Plays it across. That was a dangerous ball that Fatawu, well, is going to get onto the end of from the clearance. We've managed, though, to get the ball back. And now we're going to go again. That last attack started with Dorrington. We're going to try again down this right-hand side. Ajaria, 3 players in the middle. Rashid Mohammed, great touch out of his feet. Shoots it. What a finish that is. This man might be having his best start to a season in Wanderers colours. Of course, in the Champions League, for whatever reason, the camera reverses for replays. I don't know why it's done it for the last 2 years in Football Manager. If you know the answer, please do let me know. Guess we get to watch that satisfying finish from a different position. What a finish that is by Rashid Mohammed. He's been with us since the Championship, as has Sheldon, and now they're playing together in the Champions League. They've got Yazabal and Kubo still in their team here, Sociedad. They've got some pretty good players. We definitely need to show them a bit of respect here. We can't go into this game thinking it's going to be a simple one, but I do feel like on paper we do have the edge. Maybe that's going to be reflected in another chance here. Gomez at the back has it at left back. We are pressing high with our front 3 strikers, trying to maybe force a turnover in possession here, as well the ball breaks through. Henderson puts in half a tackle, and well, Wallace has the pace to get back there and mop up the pieces. He was a man on a mission chasing the ball there. We get it forward. Sheldon shoulders that challenge superbly. The number 10 cutting inside, could shoot, doesn't, gives it to Rashid. And the 2 Reading youngsters who came through that same intake at Reading all those years ago, age 16, nearly linked up on the big stage. Sadly, it was denied on that occasion, but we're 20 minutes in here and there's another chance. This is what we've seen so much of this season. You know, 4 goals against Manchester United, 6 against Hull. Teams just cannot contain us, and we're seeing that again here. Alfie Dorrington, options inside, loses the ball here. A little bit concerning when your centre-back loses the ball in that part of the pitch. Sociedad looking to launch a counter. Ashley Phillips, what a tackle that is by the new signing. He wins the ball superbly, and now we're going to build it through the middle. Sheldon, Meredith, oh my word. The flag's been raised. It would be such a lovely goal, but Meredith went a second too early. Would Andy White have timed his run? That's the question I am going to ask myself here. It's not going to count. Half an hour played here, it has been one-way traffic. We've had 64% of the ball, only 1 shot on target. I'm actually going to ask the players to slow down the tempo a little bit here. Let's play it out from the back a little more as well. Right now, we're dominating the ball, and I feel like if we can continue to do that, it's going to be difficult to break us down. And Sociedad are definitely experiencing that. Look at the match momentum here. It's been one-way traffic. Right before half-time, a second goal would be delightful. We have an opportunity here as Phillips has the ball. Option on the left-hand side is the left centre-back, Henderson, who finds a pocket of space to operate in. Players in the middle queuing up. Wallace is one of them. Flood shoots. Carl Flood gets his first goal of the year, and it is 2-0. I thought here Henderson was going to just flash the ball along the 6-yard box and hope someone got on the end of it. Quite an intelligent pullback, actually, to Wallace, and then Flood from there was very rarely going to miss. I thought that was going to be the last bit of action for the half. You know what? Don't take your seat, or rather, don't leave your seat. You could take your seat. Don't go anywhere. Don't go get your halftime hot dog, because there could be more action here before the break, albeit it might not be the way that we want to see it. Ajaria, though, working back well to win it. All the way back with Caleb Anson. There is 2 minutes left of this half. Alfie Dorrington is stepping out with the ball yet again. He lays it to Ajaria. There's no real press on our centre-backs, so if they want to bring the ball out from the back like that, I'm happy with it. Rashid Mohammed has a touch, gives it to Meredith. It is 3-0. That one is going to count. Another beautiful move, all started really by Ajaria and Dorrington linking up. So much of our plays come down this right-hand side. Ajaria, with 2 men on him, could not contain our captain. He played it inside. That first touch, I thought had taken it away from Rashid, but he pulled it back expertly. Meredith was there to score. And I know there was some question marks about Meredith when we signed him for 31 million. I like to think at this point, he's proven the doubters wrong. A great goal for him this match. A goal and an assist in total. He's had a really solid start to the season. Going to tell the players I'm very happy. I did realise that when Carl Flood scored, I've not discussed the fact I've gone back to a regista. Over the last 12 months, I've flip-flopped between deep line playmaker, regista, and roaming playmaker for the Carl Flood role. To be honest, I feel like the regista role, whilst it maybe isn't inflating his rating so much, although in this game here he scored a goal, it definitely benefits the players around him. I think it's one of the reasons why Wallace or Benito, whoever we've been playing at left-back, has been just doing so well. I mean, if nothing else, this is a good little confidence-building result. It could be a second emphatic win in the Champions League group stage. At this point, really, maybe I should be looking to make some changes. Bernard Brennan, on you come. I'm going to bring in Hernandez as well for his live commentary debut. Hatswell's coming back from injury, but needs some match sharpness. At the back, well, the defenders haven't exactly played badly. I think it's harsh that they're all on sub 7.0 ratings, but of course if we hold on for a clean sheet they'll all suddenly jump up to like 7.5s because that's how Football Manager works. So we won't touch things at the back. As well, with 20 minutes left, it has to be said Sociedad have not looked good in this game. Despite being the home team, they have been well and truly bullied, and well, it could go from bad to worse. Henderson wide to Wallace. He's going to keep this player alive. Of course, we've got two of our new strikers, the younger players in the middle in Brennan and Hernandez. They are big meaty men. If there's something that we have in our strikers, it is physicality and height. And I suppose we have that in our centre-backs as well, which should make us lethal from set pieces. This one is cleared away. Flood shoots. His shot's blocked. It falls to Henderson and it's blocked wide. Have brought on Mick Gary and Townsend here just to kind of see out the game. Give the youngsters a few minutes to maybe build up a little bit of match sharpness. Give them a taster of some Champions League football. Of course, Townsend is going to be slotted in at right wing back. McGarry is going to play left centre back today. Discussed how I kind of like to play him wherever he can fit, and he can fit everywhere, as can Hatswell, whose shot only just went wide. 3 minutes of added time here are going to come, and well, I was going to say they're going to go. Sociedad might want to just ruin the clean sheet dream for us. 2 clean sheets in a row in Europe would be really nice. McGarry, on off the bench, heads it away nicely. Brennan, on off the bench at striker, still a player who I think could be absolutely great, and I really want to see develop because our staff think he's got potential. Obviously, we've not picked him out there, and now we need to do some defending of our own. Phillips at the back deals with it. Hatswell, Flood, McGarry. Where are we going here? Are we going to try and launch an attack? Are we going to try and get that 4th goal? McGarry carries it out really nicely and gives it to Sheldon. He gives it inside to Flood. This build-up play is nice. Is there a bit of end product? It's going to fall back to Sheldon. Brennan's in the middle. Hernandez is in the middle. Hatswell was at the edge. And now, I'll tell you what, we've been caught completely out here. We've got so carried away going on the attack. Sociedad are now bringing it forward. Akamash inside. Shoots. I think that's deflected off Ashley Phillips. It has. It's an own goal. That's awkward. Bit of a shame we lost the clean sheet at the end there with the own goal. That was, by the way, their first shot on target of the game, if indeed that one did count as a shot on target. Really dominant display by the players. Rashid Mohammed, man of the match. Yeah, I mean, what more could you want? I feel like in general with this expanded Champions League format, often kind of 9 to 10 points is enough to at least secure you a top 24 finish. Of course, if we could finish in the top 8, which might be a bit of a tall order, it would mean that we skip a knockout round, which is kind of nice for fixture management. So that's definitely going to be something we work towards. Of course, the teams we've taken on so far, definitely teams down towards the bottom. Suspect our next game against PSG is going to be more of a test. They've won their first 2 games. Other bonus of the Champions League, every time you get a win, you just get given 2.4 million. I don't mind if we do. I'm going to praise Rashid Mohammed for his performance there, and well, I'm going to hop, skip, and jump for you guys to the PSG game. It's on the 21st of October. I've got a little bit of Football Manager to play. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a second. So 1 month later, we're back to take on PSG. Yes, 2 games played since you were here. 2 very contrasting results. The first, we got battered by Newcastle. Thiago Fernandez for them scored a hat-trick inside, how many minutes was it? Yeah, inside 10 minutes. And Caleb Anson got injured, dislocated his shoulder. Sheldon got sent off. Basically, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Anson's injury, dislocated shoulder. He's out for 2 months. The good news is he's already had a month of that injury out. As you can see here, though, didn't pass a fitness test. And well, just a few days prior to this game against PSG, we had the second game that I've played against Wolves. Worth noting, there was an international break, and then we also had a free weekend. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not going to complain. Gave me a chance to rest up the players. We came back. We battered Wolves 5-0. Really emphatic performance, this one. Andy White with a hat-trick. The man is on form. Kind of. I mean, 6 goals in 5 feels great, obviously. Missed a big patch of games due to injury, but he's back, and he is now ready to lead the line against PSG. Of course, Sheldon can play this game. He is suspended for 2 more domestic games, annoyingly. So in terms of team news, Griffiths is the man who's going to go in goal for us with Caleb Anson out injured. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure this guy is quite good enough to be a regular starter for a Champions League club. But as a backup, I feel like maybe we could do worse. Like I mentioned, Anson still out for a little while. So yeah, Griffiths needs to put in a good performance. He did keep a clean sheet against Wolves if we want to try and find a positive. In terms of the rest of the team, we are sticking with what I consider to be right now our full strength 11. You look at the form in the last 5 games. We've got a lot of players performing really, really well, to the point where I'm now wondering, Mohammed over Meredith. You know what? I'm going to make that change. I feel like when you look at the head-to-head of Rashid Mohammed and Meredith, they're actually 2 quite different players, but just based purely on the form he's shown early on in the year, Rashid's got to start, hasn't he? I suppose this is our first game taking on one of the European big boys, isn't it? They've got Donnarumma in goal. They've got Diamande and Archie Gray in their team. Mansverk as well. Lots of players that you're probably familiar with if you play Football Manager. They've even got Kvicha in their team. They predicted the future in Football Manager. That's incredible. Of course, we're lining up with our free striker system. Gone are the days where I'd caution to the wind and play with a centre attacking mid. Andy White, our top goal scorer through the middle. As for PSG, they're playing a 4-3-3. Archie Gray, by the way, still only 26 years old. He is absolutely phenomenal in game, isn't he? They're playing him at right back, which does feel like a little bit of a waste with his passing range. But yeah, he's quite good. Okay, 5 minutes into this game, of course, Dorrington at centre-back for us did actually receive a bid from PSG over the summer that we promptly rejected, and I was kind of pleased with the fact he didn't kick up a fuss about it. He's going to be able to show PSG what they're missing out on today, I hope, as well. We build up the play down the right-hand side. Rashid Mohammed inside, Andy White scores. Is that onside? I think it's onside. It's going to count. And we're a goal up. There's something quite beautiful about the idea that Leyton Orient Stadium has to be used. Although, is this our stadium? Is this our normal stadium? I've never seen it from the reverse camera angle. I never actually checked. Do we still play at Brisbane Road in Europe? Does it fulfill the criteria? Yeah, we do. We do still play at Brisbane Road. I've just never seen it from the reverse angle. Yeah, beautiful. League 2 Leyton Orient's ground being used in the Premier League. I never noticed. We've got storage containers and a burger van. Oh, my word. Andy White apparently was onside there. I'm not going to complain. Well, we've got 1 goal. Why not dream that we could get another? Hatswell in possession, going to cut inside here and gives it to Ashley Phillips. Ajaria has been involved in so much of the build-up play in all the games today. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Wallace has been in action as well. And I'll tell you what, he's passed it to Sheldon. There is a VAR check ongoing. Is this goal going to count? Are we going to be 2 goals up against PSG early on? Or is this one gonna be denied? It's close. It's really close. The goal is awarded. What a crazy start to this game. I get to enjoy our storage containers yet again. And this is all about Gavin Wallace. He fizzed the ball to the near post. Sheldon just had to make contact. And that, well, he most certainly did. If you told me, Jack, what's the ideal start today? 2 goals inside 20 minutes would have been good. I'll tell you what, 3 goals inside 20 minutes and I'll be having a bloody party. Flood has the ball. Sheldon back to Henderson at left centre-back. He plays it to Dorrington now. We're bossing possession. We're knocking it around superbly. This is beautiful. Ajaria shoots. Ajaria scores. It's 3-0. I don't even know what's happening right now. As a reminder, this team just lost 3-0 to Newcastle less than a month ago. Then we turn up, PSG end up in our back garden, and we absolutely bully them for 20 minutes. I mean, what a start this is. It's been a really, really good team display. Rashid Mohammed with 2 assists. Ajaria, an unlikely goal scorer, has to be said. And all of a sudden, I don't really mind if there's no more highlights the rest of the game. We're absolutely dominant here. We've put in a clinic. We're finishing every shot that we take. Outside the highlights we're seeing, there's actually not that many chances, but, well, there could be another one here. Ashley Phillips, Flood, shoots. He hits the woodwork. Sheldon goes down in a heap. The ref doesn't give anything. We nearly had another. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. We've edged out possession, but crucially, PSG have not created anything in this first half, rapidly coming to a close. They will have one last late set piece here. Kovic is the man over it. Can he shoot? Can he score? He hits the woodwork. Sheldon gets it away. And had we conceded there, it might have made my team look a little more difficult. As things stand, though, off the back of that half, I mean, all I can really say is you're doing brilliantly. Keep it going. Ajaria on a booking is a bit concerning. He has a goal, but is still on only a 7.1 rating, which implies he's struggling a little bit here. So you know what? Niall Townsend, on you come. Gavin Wallace is hampered with a little bit of an injury. So you know what? Benito Lloyd-Weston, on you come. Fresh legs in the wing-back area. Henderson on our booking, I don't like. Arian B is going to come in and slot in at left centre-back. 3 changes made at the back at 3-0 up. Maybe a reflection that we're just in a really good spot right now. Obviously, with all the subs we've made here as we approach the hour mark and nothing's really happening, I don't really have more subs to make right now. But you know what? It's absolutely fine. No injuries, no bookings, no goals conceded. The game could just end now and I'd still be absolutely delighted. There has literally been no highlights in the second half. There's 5 minutes left. If a PSG comeback's going to begin, it kind of has to start to begin now. And I'll be honest, at this point, it does feel rather unlikely. João Neves plays it forward to Garnacho, who's been bullied in this game. I think I saw he was on a 6.2 rating. He has played a great ball there to Fleury, who goes around the keeper. And, well, I feel like Anton does a better job than Griffiths has done there in goal. That was a little embarrassing for the goalkeeper. It's a little embarrassing for me, having just said about how Garnacho's not really done anything and is on a bad rating. He then pulls off that assist. It's not the best goalkeeping I've ever seen. I want to believe that with 5 minutes left, though, we will be fine. Just to see out this game. In fact, they've just lost a man. Mendes has gone off injured. PSG down a man. That is going to be that. We are going to win this game 3-1. Not quite as flashy as 3-0, but can you really complain? That is a massive performance. Rashid Mohammed, by the way, man of the match with 2 assists. An inspired decision to decide to put him into the starting 11 late on takes us to 3 wins in 3. And truthfully, with this expanded Champions League format, we are very much closing in on just a guaranteed knockout stage spot. And to be honest, top 8 doesn't feel that unrealistic all of a sudden. Gavin Wallace will be out for 3 to 4 days. A little bit annoying there. Sheldon's already suspended for the next game, so the fact he's injured, not the end of the world. More money made, which is always good. And as already mentioned, Rashid Mohammed, man of the match yet again. He has looked really good this season. Now, if you were wondering about our remaining Champions League games, that Apoel and Sociedad game, I definitely argue of 2 of the easier ones. Next month, we've got Juventus and Wolfsburg. Granted, Wolfsburg are down in 23rd right now. Fenerbahce are down in 21st. It's still early days. Napoli and Atletico are our latter 2 games. But based on how we've started things here, we look like a surefire bet for the knockouts, and that is great to be able to say. Now, in terms of when we're going to be back next time, I'm not entirely sure just yet. We've got a load of games on the horizon. I feel like I'm going to play a load of Football Manager and come back. Right now, if we just look at the league table, we're in 5th. We are 8 points behind Liverpool. We do have a game in hand on them, but we're losing grip on those teams above. Liverpool have started the season well. We play them in a couple of months. So maybe that's what we'll come back for. Either way, I really hope you enjoyed the 2 games today. Great to start off our Champions League campaign with a bang. We definitely don't look out of our depth. We look bloody amazing. Hopefully the wins will be flowing when I'm back next time. Hopefully we won't have had more results like this one against Newcastle. Thank you for watching. We're back tomorrow with more. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm out.